Do you a minute, really wanna hit it, and it's all over. Baby, you can't.
We gotta get that.
You know
So Axel slept on the couch. It wasn't this couch. It was like a slatted, like gross couch. It's like I left all my.
I wanna know is who the hell you are, and got me staring, flicking your hair and making me smile a mile a minute. Girl, that drink, yeah, I just seen it.
All right, welcome to the Hollywood Libertarians. Subscribe if you want to follow some awesome videos about politics and living in West Hollywood. I just wanted to talk a little bit last night about the debate we had between Johnny Nalbandian and Adam Schiff. 28th District here, we got Hollywood, West Hollywood, Burbank, Glendale, a bit more of the valley too that's all in this district. But it was a wild debate. There was way more Republicans. There was probably about 150 people in the crowd. It was almost all Republicans. I'm supporting Johnny Nalbandian. He's the Republican candidate. But it was nuts, and they were extremely loud, extremely aggressive. I actually felt bad for Adam Schiff, surprisingly. I thought there was going to be a ton of Democrats there, all Republicans, and they were all hollering at him. And it was, people, when you go to debates, don't yell at the candidates. Let them talk. I had a great question that I wanted to ask. I was not allowed to ask my question because people were being so obnoxious. It was just ridiculous. And I was like, a little scared for Adam Schiff. I met Adam on the way out, and I shook his hand, and I said, Adam, you know, we probably don't agree on anything. I'm sure we don't. But honestly, I felt bad for you, man, and that is just untolerated. Dude, I got your back. You're still my congressman. Even though we don't agree, he's still my congressman. So, but that was good. And Adam was actually a pretty nice guy. Johnny Nalbandian, really nice guy. But yeah, it was just, for what we think of as the most liberal place on earth, you know, West Hollywood, Hollywood, Burbank, it was all Republicans. And I mean, that says something about what's going on in our country. I mean, they say there's a blue wave coming or something. I don't believe it, just based off of the people I'm talking to. People here in West Hollywood, I mean, we got, like, one of the gayest places on earth, down by us on Santa Monica Boulevard. We'll go down there every once in a while. Even in that community, you'd be surprised how many Republicans there are. It's nuts. It's really changing. People are kind of waking up to, oh, I'm in this group. I might be black or Hispanic or, you know, homosexual or, you know, trans or whatnot. Helicopter up there. Or whatnot. But people are really waking up and they're saying, hey, we don't have to vote based off of our identity. And it's really, it's a nice thing that's going on. But anyway, we got a, speaking of that, I'm going to put a clip on. There was a Mexican guy who was at the debate last night. He was yelling at Schiff. And Schiff brought up the fact that Trump isn't good to minorities. And you know what, Trump has a little bit to work on with his rhetoric in regards to minorities. It kind of drives me nuts too. But it was so funny because the Mexican guy goes, hey man, I'm a minority. Don't speak for me. I'm right here. And he had a big Trump flag. It was really funny. Well, that guy's voting Republican.
Disenfranchising people, and the people that are being targeted by these laws are largely people of color. Minority voting populations.
I'm not a victim.
Mr. Schiff is being given another 15 seconds.
Still a liar.
It's the law. Make me a victim.
Racist comment.
Yeah.
Snake eye. Wow.
Don't make me a victim.
I think these efforts to disenfranchise minority populations are antithetical.
But it was so funny because the Mexican guy goes, hey man, I'm a minority. Don't speak for me. I'm right here. And he had a big Trump flag. It was really funny. Well, that guy's voting Republican. That's for darn sure. But honestly, even though there's the excitement and all that, Schiff still definitely has the advantage in the 28th. But I think Johnny Nalbandian's going to make it close. For the first time, I think we got a Republican candidate that'll at least make it a race. So I'm really excited for that. But anyway, check out that this video I got. The main question I wanted to ask these guys last night was about China. All right, so in our district, what's going on right now, Trump talks a lot about the trade deficit, right? So we have $500 billion that China sends goods to us. Trump always says, oh, we're losing $500 billion to China. Well, that's not exactly accurate. China sends $500 billion worth of goods to us. We send $130 billion worth of goods to China. Where China is ripping us off is on the intellectual property. All right, so copyrights, trade secrets, intellectual property like, okay, like Uber or something, like Uber's app, the development that went into that, all the programmers. They're just jacking all this stuff from us. Every year we're looking at $225 billion to $600 billion worth of damage that the Chinese are doing to our economy. And in this district, in Adam Schiff and Johnny Nalbandian's district, we have some of the biggest copyright holders in the United States of America. We got Disney here, we got Universal Studios, we got all this stuff. And the Chinese are literally just ripping off Mickey Mouse. If you go to China, you're going to find all sorts of Mickey Mouse products that they sell, but they're not made by Disney. They're made by people in China knocking it off and selling the stuff. Because the Chinese government, they don't enforce that at all. That's the thing that we need to clamp down on, really, is the intellectual property theft. And I really hope that these tariffs that Trump is putting on China, when they come to the table, that they say we're going to enforce intellectual property, American intellectual property, so that we stop getting ripped off. And that goes to the bottom line. A lot of these big corporations in our district, that could be making a lot more money and employing a lot more of me and you. So that's really what I'm worried about. And it was a darn shame that we couldn't, I didn't get the chance to have my question heard. And that's what was really sad. And that's why I got kind of ticked off at some of these Republicans that were being obnoxious, because I didn't get to ask my question. And it was really sad. But anyway, maybe Johnny or Adam Schiff, maybe they can come on here and answer my question via YouTube. So that's what I'm going to put out to these guys. Answer my question via YouTube. I hope I get the opportunity. And but yeah, it was a very wild debate, and wrecked my nerves a little bit with people getting a little out of control. But there were guys like me on the Republican side that were willing, not Republican, I'm a libertarian, but on the conservative side, that were willing to police their own. So that's what we need to do. If you're a Democrat and Democrats get out of control, it's your job to get those guys back in control. Seriously, you got to police your own side. I'm a libertarian. I steer a little more towards the Republican Party. I tell you what, if somebody would have went after Adam Schiff, I would have been the first person to tackle that guy, because he is still my congressman. Maybe I don't agree with him, but we really need to do a lot of maturing as a country. That's the main message here, is people, stop the violence, stop the hateful speech, stop all this stuff. Let's be nice to each other again, and then we can really talk about the problems that we have to solve. Like this China issue that I never got to ask these candidates. Anyway, drop some comments. I want to hear what all you guys have to say. And, oh, by the way, if you're in Hollywood and you are into making videos, or you're a camera person, or an editor, or anything like that, and you want to work with me, please leave a comment and we'll get in touch. We can get in touch over like Google or YouTube, because that's a little easier. I don't know if I'm going to put my phone number or email on here quite yet, yes. And then also subscribe and support us on Kickstarter. So we got a link for that in the video. And have a good weekend. Go Dodgers. Have fun, everybody.
Mr. Schiff, your 1-minute response, please.
I think our priority ought to be to make sure that the kids that are still separated from the parents are immediately reunited with their parents. That's the most urgent immigration priority in my view. And second, I think we need to give some solidity to these dreamers who wonder whether they have a future in this country, who've grown up here, who have never known any other country but this one. I think that also is an urgent priority. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we need comprehensive immigration reform. Our immigration system is broken. It does need to be fixed. It ought to be orderly, it ought to be humane, and you can't do that in a piecemeal fashion. So those are the priorities that I would attach to that. Security is certainly one element of it, but it ought to be a comprehensive solution that doesn't ignore the millions of people that are living here, that are paying their taxes, that are devoted to this country, wanting to be full members of this country and citizens of this country, and we should give them a pathway to citizenship.
Thank you. Mr. Nalbandian, your
My
one minute
children were
response.
dreamers as well, Madam.
That's right. All right.
Exactly! Schiff, I'm a dreamer.
Dear everybody, let's talk to Kate Stanley's parents. Let's talk to Jamil Shaw's parents. And these are Californians. They're dreamers. They're not dreaming anymore. They're not going to see their parents anymore. That's number one. Number two, how dare you folks go up in Oakland and warn MS-13 gangs that ICE is coming? How dare you?
15 more seconds!
I'm an historian.
Traitors.
You hated President Bush. You hated Ronald Reagan. You hated McCain. You hated Romney and all of these people. So don't tell me if Jesus Christ came down and put an R next to his name, he would be a misogynist, he'd be a rapist, and he'd be a racist.
Give us 15 more seconds!
I didn't come here. I didn't come here.
15 more seconds!
Mr. Nalbandian.
Excuse me. I didn't come here. Excuse me. I didn't come here for a Trump bashing session. I came here to help the families of my community.
The next question.
Period.
The next question.